Alright, in this video I'm going to show you how to pull a farming list in a neighborhood. So we're going to go to My Matrix, we're going to go to search, and we're going to run a tax record search. So tax record, you can access it over here. Once you've used it a few times, it'll fall right below tax record. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with adding in our subdivision name. Make sure you put it inside of the asterisk to pull everything in that neighborhood. Okay, we'll go down next to the land use. You can keep an eye, of course, on your matches found at the bottom left, but let's go to our land use and pull single family residences only. Then we're going to narrow by the living square footage. Okay, that gives us 255 matches. So I'm going to add in some additional criteria to get it closer to that 100 mark. Here at the top left, we can look for owner occupied. And then below that, we can even look by sales date. That still leaves us 244. So for the sales date, let's go back and look at anything purchased on or before 2015. That gives us 136. Let's work with that. Let's see what we can do with that. Now, another great way to narrow the results is by the map. So you could pull sections that are closest to your listing. So, if this area is closest to your listing, just draw a shape around it, or down here, either, whatever works for you. But you can also enter in the subject property address up here at the top right, pinpoint where it's located. That helps you hone in. Sometimes I don't use subdivision name at all. I just plug in the subject property address and create a shape around that subject property. All right, but let's go ahead and go into the results now and take a look at what we've got. In the results, I do have a custom display created. So I'll sort by criteria like, did they opt out of mail? So I might sort the listings that way and say, okay, let's not include anybody who opted out of receiving mailers and or eliminating any actives. Now, of course, this isn't as big of an issue as it used to be because we don't have as many actives, but if this one here is not your active listing, then you could eliminate it or not, totally up to you. But I'm going to do ahead and select all, and then I will take off anything that is the owner has opted out of receiving mail on. Okay, so that gets us down to 128. You'll be able to sort the spreadsheet and narrow it down to an even 100 from there. Okay, but there's kind of the starting point. I guess also look at this one to determine if that's not your listing, that's one that you could definitely remove from that export. All right, so now I'm going to export these owners and their addresses down here at the bottom of the screen. I'll go to export, and I'm going to export a display that I've created. Once I do the export, I'll show you where I went to create the display and give you some tips there. So I'm going to export the owner's names as well as their mailing address. Okay, and let's just use the subdivision name, taking out the asterisks, but we'll just use that subdivision name for the file name and save that. All right, so in the spreadsheet, what you're going to get is you'll have the subject properties address, then it will identify these are all owner occupied. That was just one of the ways I narrowed the search. Has the owner name, and then the rest of the material here, this will be their billing address, okay, their tax billing address, so their mailing address. All right, I did create that display myself. That's a custom display that I created for the intention of using it as an export to create a custom display, you go to My Matrix and then Settings. And in the settings, you're going to go to Custom Displays. Anything you create as a custom display can also be used as a custom export. When you get into this display screen, you'll have properties. That's going to be for the listing searches when you're searching, whether it's residential, farm, ranch, and acreage, whatever. But for today's purpose, we're going to look at that tax property display option. And to create your own display, you're going to go to Add. You'll name the display and then select the columns that you want included. But what I want to do for this video is I'm going to go ahead and open the display I already have created so that you can see the material or columns that I included in my display. So here on the right hand side, this is everything I include in my display. To make your selections, you'll go to the left and you can search for a field name here on the bottom left. Then you'll select the field, click Add, and that will add it over to the list of fields that you will be exporting. You can select a field and move it up or down in the list. When you're done, go ahead and click Save at the bottom left. All right, hope that helps. Hope you enjoy the video and the spreadsheet I created. Have a great day.